The diner sat just off the highway, its flickering neon sign buzzing softly as the evening light began to fade. Inside, everything felt ordinary, almost too ordinary. The smell of grilled sandwiches and hot tea filled the air, and an old radio played quietly in the background. A few customers sat scattered across booths, lost in their own conversations or staring out the window at the empty road. Then the sound of engines broke the calm. 5 motorcycles pulled into the parking lot, their low rumble turning heads inside. Moments later, the door swung open and a group of bikers stepped in, bringing with them the scent of dust, leather, and the open road. They weren't loud in an aggressive way, just lively, laughing, teasing each other, shaking off the long ride. They took a table near the center. Most people looked at them briefly, then returned to their meals. But the waitress noticed them differently. Her name tag read Sarah. She hesitated for a second before walking over, forcing a small, practiced smile onto her face. Up close, it was clear something wasn't right. Her eyes looked tired, more than just from a long shift, and her movements were careful, almost calculated. "What can I get you?" she asked, keeping her tone light. The group ordered food, joking as they spoke. One of them, Ray, watched her quietly. He had a way of noticing things others missed. The way her hands trembled slightly as she wrote. The way she glanced, not at them, but past them. Toward the corner. There, a man sat alone in a booth. His coffee had gone cold, untouched. His posture was still, but his eyes weren't. They followed Sarah every time she moved, never straying for long. Sarah finished writing the order and nodded. "I'll be right back," she said. When she returned a few minutes later, she carried their drinks along with the receipt. As she handed it to Ray, her fingers brushed his for just a moment longer than necessary. Their eyes met. There was something in hers, fear, quiet but unmistakable. Then she walked away. Ray frowned slightly and looked down at the receipt. At first, everything seemed normal. The total, the items, the neat handwriting. Then he saw it. At the bottom, written in small, hurried letters, "Please help me, I'm not safe." The noise at the table faded as he slid the paper toward the others. No one laughed now. Across the diner, the man in the corner kept watching, and suddenly nothing felt ordinary anymore. The energy at the table shifted instantly, but no one reacted loudly. That was the unspoken rule. They couldn't afford to draw attention. Ray kept his face calm as he folded the receipt and rested his hand over it. The others leaned in slightly, their earlier laughter replaced with quiet focus. This wasn't something you guessed about. The fear in Sarah's eyes had been real. "We move smart," Ray murmured. "No sudden moves." Mia gave a small nod and stretched as if she were stiff from the ride. "I need some air," she said casually, pushing her chair back. Her tone was easy, unbothered. No one stopped her. As she stepped outside, the door chimed softly behind her. The cool evening air hit her face as she pulled out her phone and quickly made the call, keeping her voice low but clear. She gave the location, explained the situation, and didn't waste a second. Inside, the rest of the group stayed exactly as they were, waiting, watching. The man in the corner hadn't changed position much, but now that they were paying attention, it was impossible to ignore. His gaze locked onto Sarah whenever she moved. Not curious, not casual, controlling. Sarah returned to their table to refill drinks. Her hands were steadier now, but only just. Ray gently slid the folded receipt back toward her, tapping it once. She froze for half a second. Then Ray spoke quietly, his voice low enough that only she could hear. "We saw it. You're not alone." Her breath caught. She didn't look up, but her shoulders dropped slightly, like the weight she'd been carrying had shifted just a little. "Stay calm," he added. "Help is coming." She gave the smallest nod and moved away, keeping her routine normal, her expression neutral. Minutes stretched painfully slow. Every second felt louder. The ticking clock, the clink of cups, the creak of chairs. The group stayed alert without making it obvious, their eyes occasionally drifting toward the man. Then suddenly he stood. He placed a few bills on the table and started walking straight toward the counter. Toward Sarah. Ray rose to his feet, not aggressive, just present. One by one, the others stood too, forming a loose, natural barrier between the man and the counter. They didn't block him outright, but they didn't move either. The door chimed again. 2 officers stepped inside. The shift in the room was immediate. The man stopped mid-step. His eyes flicked toward the door, then toward Sarah, then back again. For a brief moment, it looked like he might bolt, but there was nowhere to go. "Sir," one officer said calmly, approaching him, "we need to talk." The man didn't argue. He didn't resist. He just nodded stiffly and allowed himself to be led outside. The tension drained from the diner all at once. Sarah gripped the edge of the counter, her hands finally shaking freely. Mia re-entered, giving the group a quiet, confirming glance. It was over. Ray stepped closer, keeping his voice gentle. "You're safe now."